Hello folks, welcome to another video by the brilliant expat Taffy. A video titled NASA's Fraudulent Museum. Things ain't what they seem to be. Now folks, what this video is about is this item here. It's what NASA claims to be a fender repair from the Apollo 17 rover. They claim the Apollo 17 rover had a damaged rear fender and the astronauts made up this repair fender out of 4 maps and tape, and they used clamps to fix it to the rear fender of the rover to prevent dust flying up over the astronauts as they were driving it. Now, this item you see here is what NASA claims the Apollo 17 astronauts brought back from the moon, and it's now on display at this NASA museum. Well folks, I'm going to prove to you, as I proved to you before, that Apollo was faked. The rovers never went to the moon. It was all faked, and I'm now going to prove to you that this is fake. This rover repair kit is fake. It's on display at this museum, and it's a fraudulent item. It never came from the moon, and I'm going to prove that to you now. Now folks, here it is, fixed to an Apollo 17 rover, 137-20979. Now, NASA claim they made this up from 4 square maps and taped them together with duct tape to repair this fender. Now, before we go any further, let's have a little discussion and remind ourselves what we've seen regarding these rover fenders. Now, for those of you not aware, the Apollo 15 rover is supposed to have lost a front small section near side front. The Apollo 16 rover is supposed to have lost a section offside rear. And now the Apollo 17 are supposed to have broken a section of the offside rear fender, and they repaired it as shown here. Now, don't you think it's a bit of a coincidence that we've only got 3 missions that's supposed to have taken rovers to the moon, and the 3 missions had trouble with rover fenders? Well folks, I'm going to reveal here and now to you why they had these problems with the fenders. Now folks, with every single achievement by man in the past, everyone has had their startup problems. Take planes for instance. When the first planes were made, they had problems. They most likely crashed. They had numerous problems before they sorted them out and got the machine off the ground. Now, with Boeing, despite the fact that they've been making airliners for years and years, only 2 years ago, they had problems with a plane called their Dreamliner, whereby the batteries were giving problems. But that's not the case with Apollo. Many people doubted Apollo because everything went too smoothly. Nothing went wrong, despite the fact they never tested the lander. Nothing went wrong. It all went too smoothly. It all looked too easy. They never had one setback at all. Yes, folks, that's what cast a lot of doubt into many people's minds about Apollo. It was all too easy. So NASA had to correct this. So what they done, they started adding in some difficulties. One, they made a video showing Neil Armstrong in either the command module or the lunar module orbiting the moon, and they claim he had this problem, that problem, this problem, every problem. They started making problems up one by one. And that's what these fender problems are with the rover, folks. They had to think up something to make it look as if it wasn't so easy, that they did have problems. And that's what they thought with the 15. They claim they lost a small front section near side. They claim with 16 they lost a section rear offside. And when it come to making the Apollo 17 photos, they claim that the rear offside fender got broken, and they made up this fender repair kit, which I am going to prove to you is a load of bunkum. It's nonsense, it's lies, it's fabrication. Now folks, if this story about this Apollo 17 rover getting a broken fender on the offside rear and then being repaired, just think about it. What we should be having here amongst the photos is a number of photos where the rear fender was okay prior to it being broken, and then we get to a time that it is broken, and then it is repaired, and then after that every single photo should show a repair kit on that rear fender. But that is not what we have got, folks. That is not what we have got at all. And I shall be showing you that in quite a few of the photos coming up. Now, before I go any further, let me say I have done a video in the past showing these broken fenders and non-broken fenders, showing you gross incontinuity of this problem. But what I'm going to do here now is go through the lot of them again, due to the fact that I have discovered a lot more important evidence that will make this video more convincing. Now, for a start, take a look at this photo here. I've combined two of these rover fender repairs, and you can see both of them are entirely different. Now, that's the difference between this video and the last time I tackled these fender repairs, because despite the fact that the one on the left, NASA claims they made up from 4 maps, as you can see the markings on them, I then discovered one later on that did not have any maps. It was just made of plain paper, and it's entirely different. Now, following my discovery of that, NASA has now shifted the goalposts. They've changed their story. They are now claiming that this one on the left that's got the maps, it's not maps at all, that's just dirt. It was clear according to them. Well, I'll be discussing that in greater detail at the end of this video. But in the meantime, let's take a look, let's take a run through of all these rovers that have got or not got any repairs at all. Another thing I want to say here, all the photos I'm going to be showing you, there are numerous anomalies in all these photos, too many to mention here. I will mention some of them, but what I am mainly concerned about with these photos is whether the rover has got a repair kit or whether it has not got a repair kit. Now, take a look at this photo here first. AS17-133-20341. Now, this is the first photo to show a repair kit on the rear fender of this rover. And we'll take a close look at it. But what I can tell you is you've got numerous clues in here. You've got whistleblowers' clues telling you that this photo is fake. Whether you accept them is up to you, quite entirely up to you. Now, take a look at this here, close cropped. what you can see from this white paper is there is no map markings on it. It's plain white paper. So it's starting off as plain white paper. What you've got, the arrow on the left is showing a dirty corner edge, right? The arrow showing the right clamp. Now there's a clamp there supposed to be holding it, but on the other side there should be another clamp visible, which you'll see in later photos, but there's no clamp there. It is missing. And on the right hand side, the arrow, what I'm showing you, an eye, a whistleblower's clue looking at that missing clamp. It's telling you there's a clue here, there's a clamp missing. It's a whistleblower's clue. Well, can you see it? The arrow on the right? You've got a white eyeball with a black pupil, and it's looking up to that position where there should be a clamp holding the fender repair on. Now, this is a popular clue with the whistleblowers. I've shown it hundreds of times. Now, that missing clamp you'll see a lot clearer in later photos at the end of the video, where we do a thorough examination of all these repair kits. So there you are, folks. See what I mean when I mentioned earlier on? If the story was true, the rover would be starting off with a complete fender up until the time it got broken, and then they would apply a repair kit, and after that every single rover should display a repair kit. But we're starting off here with the broken fender first. Now folks, before we go on to magazine 134, I'm putting this one in here, 135, jump in the queue, so to speak, because I want you to notice two things very important. And that's, as the top arrows show, the clamps. Notice the position of the clamps. On the left hand side, the clamp is to the front. On the right hand side, the clamp is in the middle. Now, once they put them there, it should be the same in every repair kit, shouldn't it? Now, this is the one that the brilliant expat Taffy discovered that proves NASA's lies about making up a fender out of maps. Because as you can see in this one, there is no maps on this surface whatsoever. It's plain white paper. And we'll be dealing with it later on, showing you a lot more detail why it is fake. Okay, we're now with this photo, AS17-134-20377. And as you can see, it's been photoshopped. And close examination of the rover, the right rear fender is okay. There is no repair kit on it. So we are back now to a fender that's okay, following the first ones that showed the fender broke and having a repair. And there's loads of other areas in this, as I've shown in the past. The tracks are fake because the indentations are 90 degrees to the line of travel. Okay, here's the next one for magazine 134, AS17-134-20378. And as you can see again, it's been photoshopped. And Photoshop 3, which wasn't introduced into America until 2007. And the fender on this rover is not broken, folks, it's okay. Okay folks, we're now with this one, AS17-134-20379. And as you can see again, it's been photoshopped. And the rover in this one, the rear fender, is okay. There is no repair on it. And what I've done here now for that photo, AS17-134-20379, I've cropped the rover and brightened it up for you, zoomed it up. You can see the right rear fender is okay. It is complete, folks. Okay, here's the next one, AS17-134-20380. And as you can see again, it's been photoshopped, and the right fender on this Rover is okay. It is complete. There is no repair on it, folks. Okay, still on the 134 magazine, AS17-134-20381. And as you can see again, it's been photoshopped, and the right rear fender is okay. It is not carrying a repair. And here we are now, folks, with this one still on the 134 magazine, 20382. And as you can see again, it's been photoshopped, and the right rear fender is complete. Okay, we're now on this photo, AS17-134-20386. And as you can see, folks, it's been photoshopped. And let me tell you, this photo contains two cracking whistleblowers' clues, folks, telling you it is fake. I won't disclose them here because I'll use it in another video. And here we are, folks, still with magazine 134, photo number 20421. And as you can see again, it's been photoshopped, and the rear fender is okay. No repair whatsoever. And here's a cropped close-up of that, folks, showing you that the right rear fender is okay. It has not got a repair kit. And here we are now with the next one, still on magazine 134, 29423. And as you can see again, it's been photoshopped. But the fender is okay, folks. There is no broken fender and no repair kit on this Rover. Now, folks, here comes the problems. We're still on magazine 134, photo number 20453. And as you can see, it's been photoshopped, and with Photoshop 3 after 2007. And amazingly enough, this Rover has now got a damaged fender, and it's got a repair kit on it. Now, folks, just remember, these magazines are in numerical order, and all the photos in them are in numerical order. And what have we got so far? We started off with a Rover having a damaged fender and a repair kit on it. And then we went on to Rovers that had no problems at all with the fender. They were complete. And now we are back on to Rovers that have got damaged fenders and repairs on them. And there you are, folks. There's a cropped close-up of the previous photo. You can see the paper and the clamp on the side. And here we are, folks, with the next photo on magazine 134, 20454. And again, as you can see, it's been photoshopped with Photoshop 3, made after 2007, folks. And as you can see with this one, it's got a repair kit on the rear fender. And there it is again. Okay, folks, still on magazine 134, we're at photo 20462. We've got the lem and the Rover, and you can just see behind the leg of the lem, you can see the repair kit on the rear mudguard, or fender as they call it. It's got the repair, and as you can see, it's been photoshopped. Okay, we're now with this photo here, AS17-134-20479, and careful examination of this, you can see the right rear fender has got a repair kit on it. And there you are. I've cropped that section of this photo to give you a good view of it. There's the repair kit on the rear fender, folks, the rear right fender. Okay, we now on this one here, AS17-135-20542. And this was the first one I noticed, that the repair kit was plain paper, not a map, folks. Here we are, 135 again, AS17-135-20547. And you can see this rover has got a repair kit on it. And there it is. I've cropped and enlarged the photo for you. You can see the repair kit on this rover, folks. Now, we got a magazine swap. Now we've gone from 135 to 136. AS17-136-20758. And as you can see, this photo has been photoshopped, folks. Yes, photoshopped. And as you can see, is this rover, the rear fender is complete. There is no repair kit on it. And there you are. I've cropped and enlarged it for you here and brightened it up. You can see it is complete. There is no repair kit on this rover. Okay, we're now with this photo, AS17-136-20760, and again, as you can see, there is no repair kit on this rover, and again it's been photoshopped. And here's the next one, 136-20759, and yes, the fender is complete, no repair kit on it, but this is a good example of showing you how long the shadows should be. Now the shadows are just about right in this photo, folks, just about right. Here you are, the next one, for magazine 136-20760. Again, photoshopped, and as you can see, the right rear fender is okay. It is not broken. No repair kit on it, folks. Now what have we got here? A change of magazine. Now up to 137. Photo number 20979. And look what we've got. We've got the damaged fender again with the repair kit on it. Now remember what I said in the start of the video, folks? If there was any truth in this matter, it would have been so many photos where the fender is okay, then they get to a time they break it, and then they repair it, and every single photo after that should show the repair. But we're going from repair to good, repair to good, repair to good. Nothing consistent, is there? Now, what I've had from the mentally insane psychopath Bertie Slack on this is the numbers and nothing to do with the order they took the photos. According to him, it's the order they developed them in. And another nutter, used to be known as Astrobrant, then went to Silent Hunter, and now another ID Mystery. He claims they kept swapping the magazines over, taking them off, putting them back on, so many on this one, so many on that one, which is a load of nonsense, as you all know. Okay, we're now with magazine 138, the next in line. And what have we got here? We've got two spotlights up near the top of the photo. And yes, this one has got a damaged fender. It's got the repair kit on it. And here's the next one in line. Magazine 138, photo 21168. And again, as you can see, it's got the damaged fender and the repair kit on it. And here we are, we're now with magazine 140, photo 21352. And as you can see, this photo, the rover has got the repair kit on it. And as many have noticed, no tracks whatsoever around this rover, folks. And here's the next one, magazine 140, 21354. And again, as you can see, it's got the repair kit on it. Another good point to note here, notice where I showed you a few photos back how long the shadows should be. Can't you see how ridiculously short they are compared to that one earlier on? There we are, we're now with photo number 21368. And again, as you can see, it's got the repair and the ridiculously short shadows. Here you are, the next one on the line, 21369. And again, as you can see, it's got the damaged fender, it's got the repair kit on it. Okay folks, we're now with magazine 141, photo 21512. Again, as you can see, this has got the repair fender. And as you can see, notice how short the shadows are. Very, very short indeed compared to the one I showed you earlier on, wasn't it? Here you are, the next magazine 141, photo 21599. And yes, as you can see, it's got the damaged fender, it's got the repair kit on it. And again with ridiculously short shadows, folks. Okay, we're now on magazine 142, photo number 21730. Again, as you can see, it's got the repair kit. And again, short shadows from the rover and the astronaut, folks. Just remember what I've shown in the past. The length of shadow should be 4.5 times the height of the object. Okay, here's a crop section, the back wheel for that photo we just watched. And as you can see here, it's got the repair and you can see the front retaining clip, the other side of the fender up to near the front. Now, earlier on I showed you the one here on the right. Here's that one I just showed you where you can see the fender clip, and an earlier one you cannot see the fender clip. It is missing. Okay, we're now with this photo here, AS17-143-21836. Another one that you can see completely fake. Look how short the shadows are. There's no tracks anywhere around this rover, and it's got this fake rover repair. And let's take a close look at it, shall we? Okay, there's that fake rover repair on this rover, folks, and two very important clues here. Two very, very important ones. One thing you see is the shadow under that paper is fake. How on earth can a flat piece of paper cast a shadow with holes in it? It should be total black, as I will show you in another case. But another important thing about this is one of the retaining clips on the left is missing. Take a look at the next photo coming up. There you are, here's that repair kit again. As you can see, on the right, there's dirt and no maps. Now that's how you would expect dirt to deposit, scattered all around, not forming any particular shape or pattern. And the left top arrow, it's showing there is no holding clamp. You can see the right holding clamp, and you'll also be seeing where I prove that this is not genuine tape on this repair kit. It's simply airbrushed in on a computer. Now, how did they do that up on the moon, folks? With Photoshop. Here you are. Here's another cropped repair kit showing you exactly how the clamp should be. you should have one on the right in the middle, and you should have one on the left up at the front. And if you notice, as I just said now about the shadow under the repair kit, if you can see in this one, there is no holes in the shadow. It is complete black as you would expect it. And there you are, there's the two of them combined. And take a look at the shadow under the left one. It's total black as it should be, but under the one on the right hand side, how can you have light showing through paper, folks? Now, I've just thrown this one in. We dealt with it before. I've just thrown it in for good measure to remind you what the shadows should be like from a rover and this astronaut. Just look how long they are. Now that is how they should be, folks. Okay, folks, we're now with this photo, AS17-143-21856. And as you can see, this one has got the repair kit. But look at the shadows, folks. Totally ridiculous. Shadows from that object only about a foot long. Now just compare that to the photo I just showed you previous. Obviously a fake photo, as you can see. And more evidence coming up by here now. There you are, there's a crop section, the back end of that rover, where you can see the repair kit. And as you can see, there is no tracks whatsoever behind this rover. And mark my words, folks, the mentally insane narshole Bertie Slack will persistently insist he can see two rover tracks here behind this rover, as will some of his other mates like Luke S. and Mystery Mysterious. They will insist they can see tracks here, folks. There you are, pretty much the same photo, just one frame on, 21857. And as you can see, it's got the repair kit. And here's the next one, folks. AS17-143-21924. And as you can see, this one, it's got the repair kit. And not only has the astronaut got no aerial, which means no aerial means no radio, means no communication, means not on the moon. As you can see again, there is no tracks behind this rover, folks. 100% fake, and look how short the shadows are. Now look at this one here, AS17-143-21933. Again, look how ridiculously short the shadows are compared to the one I showed you earlier on. As I've shown you before, this is total fake, but this is supposed to be the last one of the line. It hasn't got the repair kit because it's supposed to have been taken off and taken back to the LEM to bring back to the Earth to put on display at NASA's museum. Now, despite that last photo, folks, supposed to be the end of the line where they've left the rover and come back home, we've now got this other magazine, 146, 3 magazines on, and number 22345. And what have we got again? We've got now the rover with the repair kit back on. And something very interesting about this photo, folks. Okay, I've cropped that rover here, and I can tell you there's quite a few clues in here from the whistleblowers. One of them I won't mention here, I'll keep it for another video because it'll take too much time on this video here. But one main thing to notice here, like I always look for, is the whistleblower's eye catcher. Now if you look in the back wheel, it's supposed to be in shadow, it's black. But why have we got 3 small round lights, white dots, 2 for an eye and 1 for a mouth, conveniently positioned? It's what I call an eye catcher. So what is this photo trying to tell us? There you are, folks. I've cropped it and zoomed it right up for you. 2 white eyes and a nose or a mouth. And if you look at the left eye, it's got a black pupil in it. It's telling you which way to look for the anomalies in this photo. Now, for all those that say, rubbish, it's not a clue, I suggest you look up my video, Spotting the Eye Catcher, and you'll see loads of these. It's one of their favourite ways of telling you the photo is fake. It's something put in to attract your attention, to tell you, examine this photo. There you are, you can see it in the centre of the wheel here. But what have we got up above, where the black pupil was looking to? What's that figure on the back of the rover, folks? What the hell is it? Let's take a closer look, shall we? And before we take that closer look, here's another thing to note here. There is no tracks whatsoever behind this rover, despite the fact that Birdie Slack can always see them. Okay, what have we got here at the back of this rover, folks? What's this white object? To me, it looks like it's got a forehead, it's got a nose, oh, but maybe a nose, a chin, a mouth, a cheek, and an eye. Now what can that be, folks? Well, let's take another look, shall we? There you are, folks. Down at the bottom you can see where I mentioned 2 white dots and a white dot for a mouth. An eye catcher, like a little face, telling you, take a look at this photo. But what does that look like on the face, folks? Does it really look like a nose to you? How many of you seen a nose sticking up, folks? I leave it to your imagination what you think that is. And if you carefully examine it, you'll find the end is slightly thicker than the rest of it. Now, I leave that to your imagination. I know what I think they have put there, folks. I've never seen a nose sticking up, but I know something else that does stick up. It's make your mind up time, folks. Up to you to decide. Okay, folks, what we've got now is another magazine added on again. A magazine 147. 22526 here. What I can tell you, there are now 5 new photos added to this Apollo 17 mission in this magazine 147. I won't show the full 5, but I can assure you, here's just 2 of them. And you can see there is no broken fender and no fender repair on them. So we've now gone from initially a broken fender to a complete fender, then a broken fender, then a complete fender, then a broken fender, and now back to a complete fender. Total in continuity right throughout Apollo 17, folks. So, folks, we've now gone through all the Apollo 17 rovers regarding the incontinuity of the fender repairs. We now come to the real hot potato, folks. The hot potato, where we're going to open up a can of worms. A can of worms that NASA are going to find it impossible to put the lid back on. We are now going to examine these repairs very, very closely and see what we can discover from them. Now, here was the most popular, the most noticeable fender of the lot. The one where NASA claimed the astronauts damaged the fender. And they claim they made up this repair kit from taping 4 maps together and holding it on with clamps. Well, after a discovery by the brilliant expat Taffy, coming up in the next photo, NASA have now changed their mind on that. They've now altered the description as you will see in the next photo coming up. Now folks, here's a close-up of that clamp they are supposed to have used. I wonder what on earth astronauts would have wanted with this on the moon. Take a look at it. The top part is a clamp with a vertical screw nut, and the bottom part hanging down looks to be a base plate for sitting it on a desk or something. Now, something very strange here. Notice how that base plate is touching the wheel. Now, if it was up to a genius like me, I would have said there's no purpose of keeping that base plate on at all. That could get scagged by the wheel as the rover is traversing, and it could rip off the fender repair. So what I would do, I would remove that square base. It is serving no purpose, is it? So why risk damaging the work? Now, the one horizontal screw on the right, you could either remove that and that square base plate would just fall off and you could toss it away. Or, if it can't be removed, you could pick it up and tighten it in the upturn position. At least it would be away from the wheel. Here you are, folks. That story about this fender being made from 4 maps sufficed for a few years until the brilliant expat Taffy made this discovery on the right hand side. A fender repair that's got no maps on it whatsoever. It's just plain paper. Now, what I want you to do here is, before we go any further, take a look where I've got these arrows, a little tail. I'm going to call it a tail. It's supposed to be a little bit of tape sticking out, just the corner. Keep that in your mind. We'll call that the tail. It's very important for the evidence I'm going to display to you after, that these so-called repair kits are fake. They were not made on the moon. They were made here on the Earth. They are fake, folks. They never came back from the moon. Now, following the brilliant expat Taffy's great discovery of some of these fenders that are plain white paper and not maps, NASA have now moved the goalposts. They've changed the description. They've changed their tail. They are now claiming that the map on the left here, or the fender repair on the left, it is not maps at all. That is simply dirt. They are claiming now that the maps were put underneath. Well, I'm going to prove to you that that's a load of lies, with NASA making things up as they go along. So let's have a real close look at this one with the maps, shall we? Let's study it very closely. Well, what do you think that looks like to you, folks? Do you think that looks like dirt that's been thrown up by the wheel onto this repair kit? Or do you think it looks like a carefully drawn out map? And just remember, to make a map, you have to have a photo, a good close-up photo of the area you are making the map of. You have to know the area. Now just remember, this was 1972, and according to NASA and all the shills, they cannot see close-ups of the moon with any land-based telescopes. That's the excuse they use, that they can't see a rover or the flag with a land-based telescope. So, how did they get a close-up photo of the moon? Well, the NASA nutters are claiming that an earlier satellite went around and took photos of the landing sites. So, I'd like to ask all these idiots, if an earlier satellite could take such close-up photos to enable them to make these maps, then why bother with the LRO 30 odd years later, which delivered total crap that you can't see any detail at all? So, that's one thing. How did they make the maps? Next thing now, I'll let you have a good look at these maps. what I'm going to do is split them up and enlarge them for you to have a closer look. There you are. Here's the back section, folks. Now, later on I'm going to be proving to you that this was not made on the moon. It was made here on the earth, and this was made on a computer generated using Photoshop. But take a look at the number of lines on here, straight or curved lines. You can forget the crosshair, but look at the other lines. Now, can any of you imagine how dirt thrown up onto a piece of paper would form these patterns? What you can see is other smudges which represent maybe craters or something. Here you are. Here's the front section. Something very, very more convincing that this is not dirt, that it's man-made, it's drawn. Look at the straight lines and the curve. Look at on the left-hand side, that long curved line there. Now, dust do not settle making patterns like this, folks. This was a drawn-out map. It was a deliberately drawn-out map, folks, and it's on the top, not underneath, as they are now claiming. And as I said, I shall be proving that this was made on a computer on the earth using Photoshop, and you'll see the evidence of that later on. Now, something very important here, look. Here's the plain paper repair kit. Note the position of the clamps. On the right hand side you've got a clamp near the middle, near the cross tape. On the left hand side you've got your front clamp. You can see it sticking up there. Okay, now that's what you should have with every one of them. But look at the next two photos coming up. There you are. Look at these two cropped back wheels from two different photos. Now on the left, it's only faint. You can see the left front clamp. It's very faint. It's not a real clamp, it's just airbrushed in on a computer. But you can see it there. But look on the photo on the right, there is no sign of any clamp whatsoever, folks. Okay, folks, we're now with this photo here. The real hot potato, folks. A photo that NASA claims is the fender repair kit they brought back from the moon. It was the one that was on them rovers, despite the fact that there are 4 different versions on the Apollo 17 rovers. And they're putting this on display in their museum and fraudulently claiming it is the one that came back from the moon. Well, I'll be proving to you that that is a pack of lies, and they should be taken to court for fraud. Now, the first thing I want you to notice with this is, look at the tape down the middle and the tape across. Do you think that looks like genuine tape to you? Well, I would say it would have to be genuine tape, because if this item is on display in a museum, people are getting a close look at it, they will be able to define genuine tape from airbrushed in on a computer. So I would say this is genuine tape on this item. But let's take a look at another view of it. Here you are, folks. Here's all the information they had. These pieces of paper strapped to their wrist. This one, it's got a lot of detail on it, and if you study it closely, there's a whistleblower's clue in the right hand section where they put a circle. They've got 2 eyes and a mouth and a triangle underneath. A triangle represents a girl's skirt. There's one clue from the whistleblowers there. But there is no grid marks on this map or note, folks. Okay, folks, take a look at this now. This is the underside of that fender repair kit they have in the museum, claiming it came back from the moon, folks. 2 very important things to notice here. One, you can definitely see it's genuine tape. You can see it looping up in places. It is genuine tape. But the most important piece of evidence here of fakery is they claim this underside was the original map. They claim they put the map underneath. But if you look at this map here, you'll see that it's got square grid marks on it. You see them, folks? Especially the one, the left-hand side, square grid marks. Now, there's no maps that they had on the moon showing any square grid maps, as I shall show you in the next photo coming up. And neither is there any on these from an Apollo 16 mission. And take a look at this photo, folks. AS16-110-18020. Now, the evidence of fakery in this one is enormous. As you can see with the notes on his wrist, there is no grid marks on that. And there appears to be a sheet of paper down the bottom. There is no grid marks on that. But the biggest piece of evidence of fakery here is he's got his arm across his chest. And they've copied and pasted the camera onto his arm. It's not on his chest, folks. It's on his arm. But no sign of any grid marks. And as you see with the next photo coming up, there you are. No sign of any grid marks on this one. Another Apollo 17 photo. No sign of any grid marks on any papers or maps they had, folks. So NASA are lying when they say they put the maps underneath. They're only saying that because they've been caught out with one that was covered in maps and others that have got no maps at all. They're plain paper. Okay, folks, we are now in the final stage of this video by the brilliant expat Taffy. We are down to the final stage of these three competitors, A, B and C, competing for the title Fraud of the Century. Now, what we'll have here is mentally insane shills like Bertie Slack and another new one come along, Mystery Mysterious, will be insisting that these three items are all one and the same. There is no difference. Well, I'm going to prove them wrong and show you quite a few significant differences in these three items, proving that we've got three here and not one. Now, so far, you've all seen evidence of fakery due to incontinuity. Sometimes a fender is broken, sometimes it's repaired, sometimes it's broken, sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's broken, then back okay. And you've also seen other evidence of fakery that I have provided in quite a lot of the photos. And you've even seen some whistleblowers' clues. So, let's get down now to examining the three of these, one against the other. Okay, with these three items we've dealt with the maps. So now we'll deal with another part of these items, something we'll call the tail of the tape. We're going to be looking at tape edges. Now, in the bottom one, look what I've marked, the arrow letter C. You've got the line there where one tape crosses another. Now that's important. I'm going to call that line by there the crossover line, okay? Now the arrow marked D, that's what I referred to earlier on as maybe the tail. And you'll find that's pretty much the same in the three of them, except that one of them, you can see it's simply airbrushed in. Now another point to note here is between the top and the bottom one is look where I've got the arrow E. What you've got there is a small end of a tape sticking out. Now if you look in the photo above, you have not got it. look at the arrow I've marked A. We haven't got that end of tape sticking out from the cross tape. It's not there. And in the top one, look where I marked the arrow B. We've got some mark sticking up. It's not in the bottom photo. So, as you can see, careful examination, you will find significant differences. Okay, here's two other sections from the one on a rover and the one that's supposed to be in the museum. The one that's supposed to be in the museum is the right hand photo, and as you can see with the arrows, it's got 4 dimples sticking up. And at the bottom arrow you can see it's got what I just called a crossover line, where a tape from one direction is crossing over another tape. It's got a crossover line on the bottom. But if you look at the photo on the left, supposed to be of a rover on the moon, the one with the maps, there is no 4 dimples on that, and there is no crossover line. Now, for there to be no crossover line, it means one thing, and that is it is not genuine tape. It is airbrushed in on a computer, as you will see now. Here you are. Here's the one off the rover, the first one I discovered that did not have maps. It was plain paper. Now, look at the top left arrow. It's showing that crossover tape as not being parallel. It is not genuine tape. It is airbrushed in on a computer. And for the other 3 arrows, the one on the left, the one bottom corner, and the one bottom middle, there is no crossover lines on that made-to-believe tape. It is not genuine tape. It's airbrushed in grey on a computer using Photoshop. And look at the top 2 right arrows. It's showing again there is no tape crossover lines. There is no edge to the tape. It's 100% fake, airbrushed in on a computer. And a lot more evidence coming up on this particular item, folks. Now, folks, here we are with that plain paper fender repair supposed to be on a rover on the moon. Look at the yellow print I've got. Proof of fake photoshopped clamps. Yes, the clamps are supposed to be holding it onto the fender, folks. One on the right and one on the left. Now observe the bottom red arrows for each clamp. And what that arrow is pointing to is the front of the clamp, the face facing us. You see it on the right and the left, the face facing us, folks. Now, look at the top red arrows. The left one is showing the vertical screw is at the back of the clamp. And if you go to the right hand clamp, the vertical screw is on the back of the clamp again. Now that is impossible. If you take the right hand one as being the genuine clamp, take it off and put it on the left hand side, then by moving it around, that vertical screw would now be on the front. They can't both be on the back, folks. Now, what do you think of that? Do you think that's a sign of incompetence by the whistleblower, by the Photolab staff? Or do you think it could be a good whistleblower's clue? Well, I think the latter, due to the fact that if you look at the yellow arrows for each clamp, it shows the horizontal screw. It shows the horizontal screw. Now on the right hand one, the horizontal turn knob is the back of the clamp. And now if you turn that around, it should be on the front, which it is on the left hand clamp. The horizontal screw thumbnail is correct in both of them, folks. Back of one and front of the other. Now, if they made an error in the vertical screws, they would have made an error in the horizontal screws. but they have not. That's showing they know about turning the clamp around and where the screw should be and where the thumb grip should be. They put the horizontal ones correct and the vertical ones incorrect. That's definitely a whistleblower's clue, folks. This is fake. So there you are, folks. As you can see here, we've got two at the top which were supposed to be fitted to the rover, and we've got the one on the bottom supposed to be on display at NASA's museum, and none of them 100% match up. They are all different. They are all different, folks. So NASA's claim that the bottom one is the same as the top and the bottom one is what they brought back, it's nothing but a pack of lies. It's a fraud, folks. This item from the museum is a fraud. Now, folks, for the final piece of evidence, just remember what they all say about liars. Liars should have a good memory, okay? Now, take a look at this photo coming up to you and read the script. Okay, folks, we are back with this photo here, AS17-143-21933. Now, let's take a look at the script that NASA got for this photo. Their description, folks. There you are, folks. Note the description halfway down. Note that Gene has already removed the replacement fender at the right rear and has also removed the left rear fender extension. Okay? He's also removed the left rear extension. Now, let's take a look at the next photo coming up and see the lies in that. There you are, folks. Here is what that fraudulent museum for NASA has got on display. They've got at the top the repair kit they claim they brought back, and an extension fender they've got displayed there is the wrong one. It is not a rear fender extension, it's a front one. So why are they displaying the wrong one in this? Don't you think if they brought a rear fender extension back and the repair kit back, they should both be on display side by side? This is not the right fender, folks. Final proof that this fender nonsense is nothing but a pack of lies, and this is a fraudulent museum, and this item here is a fraud. 100% fraud.